mean, let's move on to some of the non-Bundesliga guys that have been coming up in the news over and over again. But before we get to, well, let's just go with Josh Gatt. I mean, we hear this guy. He's in everybody. Seems to be on the tip of everyone's tongue. What do you see in a guy like that?
Well, I see a guy that we talk about Chandler's speed, and we see a guy in Josh Gatt that could blow by Timothy Chandler, just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with in terms of speed. I mean, we're talking about a guy who, among professional soccer players worldwide, would be like way into the 90s percentiles. I mean, it's not. Wow. I mean, it's if you watch some of the goals he scored and you see how fast he is. And it's not like a Marvel win. I mean, he's tactically, he's improving well. Now, for whatever reason, he scored a bunch of goals, and he's not in the starting lineup today. He's on the bench. The game's still going. But remember, he's still very young, and he's rated very highly by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who's very close with Manchester United. He still talks to them a lot. And bright things are in the future for Josh Gatt. I mean, speed. You can't teach height, you can't teach speed. He's got and that's one of the reasons why I thought the Gold Cup team, Bob Bradley's selections were unfortunate in how the team kind of morphed the last year. I mean, he really wasn't going with that. There really wasn't that much speed out there, and that's one of the reasons why he wanted to get Josh Gatt on the Gold Cup team. I mean, you can't coach. He couldn't do what he wanted to do out there because the team lacked speed. Now with Chandler and Gatt and hopefully and Fabian Johnson, they're going to address the weakness of speed, and that's very, very important. I mean, you need to be able to beat guys, and you need to be able to stretch the other team, and and that's why he went with Finley, but Finley didn't really work out. But you need speed out there. Yeah. I understand what he was trying to do with that. But Gatt is another guy. I mean, out there he can play either wing, he can even play right back, but he is very, very fast, and his dribbling has improved tremendously. He's growing as a player every year, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a great coach. I mean, look what he's doing with Molde. And look what he did with developing younger players at Manchester United's reserve team. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better environment for both him and Sean Cunningham, who's there too.
That's what I was just going to ask about. Yeah.
Sean Cunningham is one for the future, and he'll be on. I think he's the starting. Him and Oscar. Surprisingly, the left back situation at the next U20 cycle enters in as very strong. You have three guys who are first team caliber players down the road for good teams. I mean, Sean Cunningham could play for Molde's first team within the next year or two. Osageda, same thing at Tigres. And then Danny Potts is a very good left back for the academy team at West Ham United, which is a very established academy team. So they walk into the cycle with the left back as being one of the best positions, believe it or not. It's exciting down the road for the next U20 cycle. But Sean Cunningham he's made the bench a lot of times for the first team, and I think this year is kind of tough the rest of the season because they're trying to push for their first ever title. I mean, the team's been in existence now 100 years, and they've never won a title. The fans really want it, and there's only like 8 or 9 games to go. So probably not this year, but next year I think you're going to see a couple of top players sold off at Molde because they got some really good young players. And then I think Cunningham is probably going to get minutes next year, no doubt about it.
What about here's another guy, and this is the one guy that seems to have pissed the most people off because he wasn't on Klinsmann's lineup, but everybody's saying, "Hey, where's Diskerud? Why is that guy? Why is he not on the roster? And I mean, is he going to be left behind?"
Klinsmann had made a kind of a, and I'm wondering. I'm one of those guys wondering that myself. Klinsmann made a statement to the press in Los Angeles where some of these guys were, like Adu, Gatt, and Diskerud. He says, "Oh well, they're really there for. I mean, he doesn't want people to skip steps. Like Bob Bradley brought young players into the first team quickly. I mean, Agadello. He was very aggressive with tapping young players. And Diskerud at the time too. But Klinsmann, we want to bring them along, in the Olympic team, and which is kind of hogwash if they can help the team now. I mean, Breck Shea and Timothy Chandler and Bill Hamid and Juan Agadello, they're already on the first team, and they're already age eligible for the Olympic team too. Yeah. So it does. I mean, Diskerud. Maybe he doesn't rate the Norwegian league as high. Maybe he didn't want to take him away from their club team. But yeah, Diskerud was an absence. I think that was a big mistake for Klinsmann. That was. I mean, he's older than Gatt. If you want to make he's a little bit more technically polished than Gatt. He doesn't have the speed that Gatt does, but it's one of the things where you just bring them along and you teach them, and even if you don't play them, you still, or you only give him limited minutes. He still is a smart player there that has a really good technical base. Especially when we're trying to play a 4-2-3-1, you can kind of get him to back. You can move Donovan up to. If you want to switch to a 4-4-2, you can kind of move Donovan up forward and take out one of the holding midfielders and put Diskerud in. There's, he's not a first 11 starter for the U.S. team, but he's certainly one guy you want to start giving important minutes to.
Yeah. Well, with their seasons nearly ending, what are the odds? Do you think that both players like him and Gatt being included with the January camp?
Well, the January camp. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what he does at the January camp. I'm only so used to the Arena Bradley January camp. I mean, I don't know, what U.S. Soccer has. I hope they keep the January camp. Yeah. But we'll have to see what he does. But I hope that Klinsmann gets over not wanting players get on the fallacy that these guys are Olympic team players. Olympic team is and I like Olympic soccer, and it's very valuable to the U.S., but, we have to qualify first. These players can't get released like they can, and it's, and there's all kinds of, if we make it to the finals, it's an extremely valuable tournament. I mean, look at 2008. We had so many guys at an important stage of their career for, guys like Holden and, Altidorf and Anu, and it was very valuable, but, at the same point, we really need, to get these guys at the first team, and, like I said, just don't play them at first, and then gradually give them minutes here and there, and but to have them be part of the camps, there's really no downside to that. Especially your key U23 team players, I think are best hanging around the guys on the first team. If we're not going to have any U23 friendlies or anything like that. But if we have the traditional January camp, Gatt and Mikkel Diskerud are locks, no question.
Well, we're just about out of time. I can't believe that the 30 minutes went by pretty fast. But I wanted to get in one more question because it was something that Brett and I were pretty curious about. What the hell happened with Marc Pelosi? He was there. Was it with Liverpool? But whatever became of that, I guess nobody can quite figure out where he is right now.
Yeah, I don't know either. He has a German passport. He's a free agent, so he's not bound by the transfer window. Guys like him and Moby Fair. I mean, I know Moby Fair is still over there in Europe at some clubs, training and looking and seeing what's available. So, as long as he's playing and he wants to find the right club. I mean, look, we've had a lot of good players go to big clubs to start off their career, and it wasn't the best move. Then you have a guy who goes to an Austrian second division club and now is maybe one of the top U.S. Youth prospects. And a guy like, John, when Josh Gatt did that, and then John Anthony Brooks goes to, turns down a Bayern Munich professional, 3-year professional deal to stay at Hertha Berlin because he thinks he can get more playing time. Maybe you don't always go for the Liverpools if you can find a better fit. So, with these guys, they're so young, and I think they want to find the right fit. And if they do something like Josh Gatt does, and they start low and they continue to push their own ceilings high at these young clubs and get a lot of first team minutes. Like I said, we've had guys go to reserve teams at big clubs and super clubs, and it just doesn't really work out.
Yeah.
But, we've had guys start low and then to go hot and then turn out to be great. So, whatever Pelosi does, maybe he wasn't feeling it at Liverpool. Maybe the offer's still on the table. We don't know. But at 17 years old, he should take whatever time he can and make sure the decision of where he wants to start his career is the right one. And it's not always the biggest club out there.
Yeah. An Italian-American with a German passport. Kind of odd, but not so odd in this day and age. But as far as things look for American players, I'm starting to get a real feeling here as we move forward that perhaps, not England, but the Bundesliga in the end seems to be a really nice place, and the Bundesliga too as well, for American players to get things started for themselves.
Oh, it's the best. I think the coaching there is better. The money maybe it's just a tad bit lower than at the English Premier level, but at the same point, it's better soccer. There's coaches are better, and then most importantly for young players, there's no work permit restrictions there like there is in England. England, it's going to be very difficult to get our best young players there who don't have European passports. So there's a big, huge a roadblock there. But Germany seems to be welcome there, and there's a lot of good Americans there in the Bundesliga, and it's really the one to follow if you want to follow where some of the best young players are doing overseas.
And touching on all your points, I mean, if you're a youth player, just given the fact that Germany and the Bundesliga all, they invested millions upon millions to develop their youth programs. Perhaps if you're a youth player, that is your best option, say over in England, and some people have criticized their youth development just in comparison to their actual Premier League and everything, but perhaps that is your best option.
Yeah, I mean, these English clubs have so much money now. It's like, not all of them dip into their youth program to find players. But in Germany, they're coming along nicely. I mean, even guys like Sciaretta are young and playing with the Hertha's reserve team and the U23. And most importantly, that their U23 team plays within the Bundesliga structure. They play in the Regionalliga, but they can even, if they do well, they can get promoted or relegated. Like Bayern Munich's U23 team was actually in the third Bundesliga last season. So, I mean, there's a real bona fide competitive game playing that the club's reserve teams do. So it's like, it's a good structure that they have there. It's not just like, I mean, not everyone even has like reserve team games in England. They're better. They're more organized in Germany, like that too. So, it's gonna. But like the biggest thing really for Americans is the lack of hurdles to get into Germany right now for work permit restrictions. That's going to help us out.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, I want to thank you for coming on. As always, the time, but what is biting at our heels, and hopefully. As we'll just kind of continue this and make this a trend and have you on, every few months or so to give us an update on this.
I love it.
All right.
I love it. I like coming on the show. So let me know anytime. I'll be happy to be back on.
All right, we appreciate that. We'll let you know soon. Thanks, Brian.
All right, take care. Enjoy your Sunday, guys.